Welcome, everyone. It's a new season and a new look to the Bison postgame show presented by Gate City Bank. The boys are back, and they are so kind to welcome me. I'm Logan Campbell, joined by Jeff Kolpak, Eric Peterson, Mike McFeely. NDSU just had their season opener against Eastern Washington, where they won 35-10. The crowd had, 22,000 people, and the atmosphere, I thought, was pretty electric down on the field. What did you think, McFeely?
Yeah, 22,546, something like that. It was more than I thought, and what I'd heard last week was somewhere around 15,000. Either that was way off or there was a huge walk-up. Not what NDSU expected. I think when they first booked this game a couple of years ago, they were looking at maybe 40,000 they wanted. They thought maybe they'd get 40,000. Not there, but I thought the crowd was into it. I thought they were loud. The Bison had some big plays, obviously, off the bat in the first quarter, and I thought it was great. I was out in the longhouse before the game where everybody's sucking down $11 beers. They didn't seem to mind.
$11.
$11 for beer. But it was good. They were having fun. It was a typical kind of Bison road game, and you have to temper it. You know, it wasn't 40,000, but how many other FCS teams are going to get 23,000 people to come to a neutral site road game 4 hours from campus? I thought it was pretty good.
First college game inside U.S. Bank. What are your thoughts, Jeff?
Well, first of all, we finally got rid of Izzo. I mean, for this show. It took a while, but we finally got him out the door, so that's progress, too. I thought you have two good quarterbacks in NDSU and Cam Miller and Cole Payton. And if this were like an NFL team, which we are in an NFL stadium, would you call it a quarterback controversy?
Ooh. Spice it up.
Well, both are going to play, obviously, and they both seem to like sharing the time. Cole was electric on a 70-yard touchdown run. God, he's big. He's 6'3", 230, and he's faster than what he looks, too, and I think he showed that against an Eastern team. I think that decent team speed on defense, too. Overall, solid performance.
What about Cam Miller? Talk a little bit about how you thought he played today in the season opener.
Yeah, great. I mean, 2 touchdown passes. He was 18-25, solid. I think he was solid. Nothing spectacular, but he didn't turn the ball over, didn't fumble, didn't throw an interception. And I think he left the electric stuff to number 9, who, by the way, the last time a number 9 was making plays in an NFL stadium in Minneapolis, Tommy Kramer.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, my question is, are we going to see Cole Payton move to running back? Because his running is just so explosive.
That's a good question.
That's what I'm wondering.
Cam Miller said Cole Payton could play defensive end, he could play safety, he could play linebacker, he could play fullback. I think you're going to see him both obviously stay at quarterback. To me, the big takeaway I have from the game was the defense. You had a remade secondary with a bunch of new guys. Cole Wisniewski moving from linebacker to safety. Marcus Shepard transferring in from Bowling Green. You know, Jaden Price, the only experienced guy back there. Sam Young would kind of bided his time. I think NDSU's secondary only let the ball behind him once, or one total breakdown in coverage on the touchdown. Other than that, big plays are going to happen here and there. I thought the front seven from NDSU was really good, particularly Logan Kopp really seemed to get to the ball. Kikoa Vesperis was under duress all day. He didn't really get comfortable back there. And I think Jason Petrino looks like, I know it's one game, but it looks like NDSU's defense might be a little more pressure-oriented, or they might be willing to bring more pressure. So overall, for NDSU to have a really kind of new defense overall, new defensive coordinator and 10 total points, I thought was pretty good.
Well, I was talking with Matt Entz before the game, and he said that this is the most nervous he's been heading into a game because he wasn't sure what they were going to see on defense. We saw Cole Wisniewski switch from linebacker to safety. Do you think that might be a better match for him, McFeely?
Well, he's just an athlete. Cam Miller, as Eric referred to after the game, said that you could put actually, he was talking about Cole Payton, was he? Sorry. Yeah. I'm confused by the microphone thing here.
Maybe Cole Wisniewski could play tight end.
He probably could. I don't know. But I'm all thrown off by the microphone and not having Izzo there. So you need to be louder. No, not your fault. You need to be louder.
You guys are a little bit older than me.
Okay, so Wisniewski. He's a great athlete, one of the fastest guys in the team. He obviously made the transition pretty strongly to safety. He's a big body back there. He's just a bigger kid than they've had at safety in the past. He'll be fine. Experienced guy, great athlete. They're going to be okay. I think if there are questions that we all had, and I think some players referred to that in the press conference, there were questions we all had, they at least answered some of them today. Logan Kopp was fantastic, all over the place. Wisniewski can play. Sam Young, you didn't really notice him, which is probably a good thing. He was making some tackles, but you didn't notice him in a bad way. Marcus Shepard got turned around, I think, on the touchdown pass. Jaden Price looked like he got a little bit dinged up on a punt return or something. He came back in the game. They're maybe a little thin at cornerback, but boy, their front seven was all right. They're deep on the front defensive line. They're just pretty good.
Yeah, I thought the defensive line showed the ability to trade off on some bigger plays there. And Eli Mostert with the blocked field goal. I mean, I was looking for playmakers today. You know, who are going to be the playmakers? And in reference to your 5 things, the dudes. Like, who's going to be the dude on this team? I thought Eli Mostert showed up with that blocked field goal. I think Wisniewski played like a dude today, and Logan Kopp played like a dude today.
I want to talk about the go ahead, Eric.
Oh, you go ahead.
No,
I was going to say
go
to your
off.
dudes thing. I mean, if this is kind of a preview of what to see the rest of the season, again, it's one game, an Eastern Washington team that was picked 7th in the Big Sky, but a good test. But Logan Kopp looks like he could be a guy who can be a dude in that linebacker group, and I don't know if we really saw that emerge last year. And to Kopach's point, just seeing a healthy Eli Mostert. I mean, he missed all of last year. He blocks the field goal. He pounds it in the turf. It bounces up in the air, and he jumps it up and gets it like a basketball rebound for a defensive tackle to do something athletic.
290.
So I think it looks like with Wisniewski, Mostert, and Kopp, they have a makings of a dude at every level on defense.
Definitely. Switching to the offensive side of the ball, we've talked repeatedly about the wide receivers and the depth at wide receiver. Who stood out to you? Eli Green?
Well, sorry, right away, I thought that first down early in the game on 3rd and 12 was big, but Cam Miller and the quarterbacks targeted 10 different receivers. 7 different receivers caught a pass, and again, they said they're going to use their receivers before the season started, and I think they did today. I mean, Tyler Turok got his first career reception, so did Jacob Street, Carson Williams, Joe Stoffel with a couple touchdown receptions. So maybe they won't have a dude there per se, but maybe you can spread it around enough and find enough guys to make plays. 18
guys with significant snaps that haven't really played before. How huge is that to get that within that experience during the first game of the season?
Well, and I think that's what Matt Ensign was most excited about. 18 guys who, they might have had a rep here or there that didn't play. You're playing in a big stadium. You're playing in front of 22,000 plus people. You know, new defensive coordinator. You're playing against a team that likes throwing it all over the place, and especially on defense, they performed like a veteran group. They didn't look overwhelmed. They didn't look like they're scrambling too much. Like Mike said, there's maybe one play where somebody turned around. So for a first beginning for a lot of new guys like that, I thought it was a pretty solid start for NDSU.
NDSU is 1-0 after the first game of the season. What are some key things you guys will be looking for to next week's matchup against Maine?
I want to see Cole Payton throw the ball. I still want to see if he can throw the ball. I think they gave him a couple of opportunities to go that way and it just didn't work out, but he finished 1 of 3. I like to see him throw 10 passes in a game and see what happens.
I guess continued growth on defense. Is this still going to be a pressure type defense? I guess we still don't know how NDSU is going to hold up against a power running team, which Maine isn't. But I think as we get deeper into the season, get into valley play, that's still something NDSU's front seven is going to have to answer. But a good opening start, especially with a pretty much untested, secondary against an up-tempo, throw-the-ball team, I thought that was pretty solid.
I thought, sorry, hold it over for a second.
You look like Dave Richmond when I had to interview him during halftimes.
NDSU's offense on its first 4 series had like 200 and some total yards and 3 touchdowns in their first 4 series. Their next 4 series, they went nowhere. They had about 56 total yards, no points. A little more consistency. Eastern Washington held up pretty well defensively, actually, up front. That kind of surprised me. I thought NDSU was going to be able to push them around. Whatever happened there in the middle of the game for NDSU's offense, they need to figure that out. I know they ended up with 500 total yards and 325 yards rushing, whatever it was, but they could have put the game away way earlier than they did. And I just need to see a little bit more consistency maybe in the middle of the game.
And Matt Entz did bring that up about, I think there's a couple third and shorts where he talked about not executing where they could have extended some drives, and there were just some head scratchers that would be third and short, and
And he did reaffirm you're no expert in the post game.
You are no expert,
yeah.
So.
I think we should keep this going where McFeely doesn't have a microphone. Right. Yeah, he's limited.
Let's not do that. Let's actually have 4 microphones next time.
All right, guys, first game in the books. NDSU wins their season opener against Eastern Washington, 35-10 at US Bank. Thanks for letting me host the show, guys.
Thanks for letting us be on it,
Thanks.
Logan.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you.
You've been watching.
Louder.
Be louder?
Yeah,
okay.
yell.
We'll take that into week 2 next week as NDSU faces Maine back at home inside the Fargo Dome at 2:30. You can watch that on WDAY. You've been watching the Gate City Bank Bison post-game show.